Welcome back to another episode of Psycosmos. Today we're going to jump into some Luigi's Mansion 3 with our good buddy, James!
What's going on, guys?
So James, let me ask you a question. Do you think that EGAD is based off of, like, Bill Gates?
EGAD, I never got the full picture with EGAD, man. He was in the first Luigi's Mansion. That was, I think, his first appearance in a Nintendo game ever. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Right,
but
that's
then,
correct, yeah.
And then we see him in Super Mario Sunshine, well, at least his, quote-unquote gadgets in Super Mario Sunshine. And then we didn't really see him again until now, at least in what I would consider, like, mainstream games. We see him in, like, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and things like that, but, as far as having a real appearance in the game, this has probably been the first time since 2002-ish.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's funny because he's such a crazy kook, like he's just like, hey Luigi, you're an Italian plumber, go catch me some ghosts with a vacuum, and I'll be sitting here and just I don't know, he just collects paintings of dead people. Like, isn't that freaking weird? Alright, so we're gonna jump into some multiplayer here. Play mini games with up to 8 people on a single console.
There's also the Scare Scraper, which is a separate mode altogether.
Ah, I see. Okay. Well, we could try going into the Scare Scraper. Where do I have to go for that?
I'm wondering when the Scare Scraper actually comes in then.
Probably later on. You gotta.
I never even noticed it as like an unlock type deal.
I see. Okay. Well, James, you're just the ultimate man. That's really what it comes down to. All the things are unlocked whenever you buy a video game because you're the ultimate man. James, I've known James since we were in 7th grade playing Mario Kart on the bus with our good friend
Mario Kart
Jeff.
DS download play. We had 2 carts and 2 parties going at the same time. Up to
we would have, yeah,
DS
really, yeah, we would. Oh my god, we would crush it. We had so many freaking people on that thing. Everybody on the bus was playing it. Yeah, we were trendsetters, James and I. So, what we could do is I could play a little bit of this, and James, you could give me some commentary. I guess for now, shit. Well, James, why don't you tell us about your life?
Nothing too interesting there, man.
James is an honest, charismatic man, and James, why don't you give us your love profile? You looking for love, James?
Eventually, man.
Eventually. James is going to have the big, huge house with the nice picket fence and the red door. He's going to have a dog and a cat. He's going to have a secret basement full of, like, old vintage wine. Yeah, he's the classiest man I know. Classy AF. Okay, so we're actually pretty close then. I just have to go to floor 5. Look, spiders. My absolute favorite, black widows. Jeez, Luigi. He's gonna die in here, seriously. So, James has actually beaten the Luigi's Mansion game. James, why don't you give us your review on the entire game?
So, overall, I really enjoyed the game. I picked up the Nintendo Switch on the basis that Luigi's Mansion 3 was going to be released. In comparison to the original Luigi's Mansion, I think this game is, to start off, it's a much longer game than the original. Matt, you might feel that. I don't know when the last time you played Luigi's Mansion was, but
it's been a hot minute. Yeah.
But the difference between this game and the original game is this game is far more, I would argue, repetitive than the original.
Okay.
You get into these same ghost battles in every single room, whereas in Luigi's Mansion there were 23 unique ghosts that you had to capture and, get back into their paintings. In this game, it was just like, you might walk down the hallway and you might get trapped into a ghost battle, which it's just overly repetitive, and I had 16 hours into the game before I completed it the first time. And I also found that I had to do things multiple times for it to accept my input. Overall, I highly recommend the game. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing this multiplayer. But yeah, the story is overly repetitive in comparison to the original Luigi's Mansion.
How many hours did it take for you to actually complete this game?
It was 16 hours to completion.
16 hours, wow.
A good portion at a time. I can't put a percentage on it or anything. But a good portion of that time, like I said, I spent an hour looking for the button to open up that pyramid.
So what were some of the highlights and some of the lower points?
So I want to say one thing, that you haven't gotten this far because obviously you're still looking for Luigi, but as far as having a partner in this game with Luigi, they made great use of giving Luigi a partner and allowing him to interact between himself and Luigi.
That's definitely one of the bigger highlights of the game. So what's a really big drawback, I guess, from the game?
The game was just continuous, whereas in Luigi's Mansion there was, area 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
This game, I guess you would consider the areas as the floors, and if you go by the floors, there's 17 distinct floors, I believe. Only once did you actually have to return to EGAD in the basement level to talk to him about something that was going on. You never had to go quote unquote empty your vacuum like you did in the original Luigi's Mansion. Hard to say. I'm going to definitely be playing it again. I'd like to complete finding some of the gems and getting a higher rank. I got a rank B as my first run through.
All right. What do you think is the best boss fight in this game?
I enjoyed the kitchen.
Okay.
There was a cook in the kitchen that you had to basically reveal him with Luigi, because when you walk into the kitchen, it's flooded with smoke, and then you basically reveal the room by sucking out the smoke with Luigi and Luigi simultaneously. And I would argue that was probably the most memorable for me.
So then I'm just actually about to give him back the briefcase, so it looks like I'll be able to unlock Luigi and the Scare Scraper. But final thoughts overall, what would you give the game out of, like a 5 or a 10?
It may not be fair to do this. I'm going to use Luigi's Mansion as my baseline of 10, because that was actually the first video game I ever had that wasn't like a Game Boy. My first console was the GameCube, which I got in 2001 for Christmas, and my first game was Luigi's Mansion. So I'll baseline Luigi's Mansion at a 10. If I'm baselining Luigi's Mansion at a 10, I'd give this a 7.5.
James gives this game a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely, so far I've been playing it. I've been having a very good time. It's definitely not like an awe-inspiring Nintendo classic game like Luigi's Mansion, the original, would be. But, so far I find it pretty comical. I find the cutscenes to be pretty decent. Looks like they put a lot of good time and effort into it. It's a short game, relatively. As James said, you could probably finish this game in about 3 hours. Or the original in 3 hours. This one takes probably roughly about 15 hours to beat. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, make sure you comment and subscribe, like the video, and if you're looking forward to the next episode, James and I are going to jump into some multiplayer in the Scare Scraper option or mode in Luigi's Mansion 3. So stay tuned for that. Take care.
Thanks, guys.